Hello, Neil McGee with the UVA School of Data Science, here with a short webcast on how to set up a budget and a budget alert in Amazon Web Services. I've worked with a lot of people in a lot of different accounts across the various big public cloud providers, GCP, Microsoft Azure, AWS, and one of the recurring problems / surprises is sort of the suddenly large bill that comes in from some costs that were happening that the person wasn't even aware about, the account owner wasn't even aware of. And so it occurs to me, it's pretty obvious that there's a lack of understanding around cost implications when you're working in the public cloud. First thing to keep in mind is pretty much everything that you create, a resource you create and use and work with of any significance is going to have a cost associated with it. And so I have just two suggestions for you. And we'll cover the second one here in this webcast. The first one is any service you're going to touch, whether that's EC2, the compute service, or S3, the storage service, or CloudFormation, or anything. Every single service has a pricing page, and this is true of all the cloud vendors. They all have a pricing page that goes in fine detail explaining exactly what will cost you when you use this service and how much and so on. So EC2 has various instance types of various sizes and CPU and memory and GPU and so on. And every instance type has an hourly rate in dollars and cents that you can estimate by. Likewise, S3 costs 2.3 cents per gigabyte per month of storage. AWS even has a billing calculator, a cost calculator. So if you just Google for AWS cost calculator, it will sort of interview you and ask you what services you think you might be using. It'll kind of run up a napkin sketch of a budget for you. Here's what I think it'll cost you per month and so on. So that's the first thing is dig into the pricing yourself and get better understanding and realize it's very tempting just to come in here and start to create things and work with them and use them. But you also, on the flip side of that, need to understand that's going to have some costs associated with it. The second thing you can do is what we'll do right now, and that's set up a simple budget and set up a budget alert associated with that so that you sort of get a tap on the shoulder that says, hey, you're approaching your monthly budget right now, or hey, you've met it at 100%, or now you're over it. So let's go ahead and do that. The way that we get to billing is go to the upper right to your account drop down, and you can see your account ID is here, and you go down to the fourth choice, billing and cost management. This is a service in itself. The service doesn't cost anything, fortunately. Here's where you can see your bills for previous months. You can drill down into them and see exactly what service you used, exactly the cost of that by region, and with a full breakdown. You can see your previous payments and so on. You can explore your costs in different dimensions. So what was my storage cost last month or over the year? It can graph it out for you or plot it for you. What was my compute spend, and so on. You can look at different categories that they've broken down by. And then down here on the left, you have budgets and budget reports. So if we click into budgets, you'll see that I don't have one right now for this account. So let's go ahead and create one. Click on the orange button, create a budget. And we've got a few choices here. We could use a template or we could customize it. This is if you want to kind of do some automations and integrations with your budgeting that can send messages to Lambda or to an API and so on. We're just going to use a template. And then when you scroll down, you'll see four choices. The first is useful if you have sort of a dormant account or you're using the free tier and you'd like to know if anything has suddenly actually incurred any real cost to you. If you're in the free tier for your first year, you have $100 of spending that Amazon's given you. So this might be useful if you're using the free tier. We're going to use the monthly cost budget, where we just kind of roll up all costs across all services in all regions for the month and give it a single dollar amount for the monthly budget. And then it has these different daily savings plans and daily reservation utilization. So these are more complicated scenarios. Let's go ahead and select monthly cost budget. You could customize that. I could say Neil's, monthly cost budget. So give it a title. Then you can give it a budgeted amount. And I'm going to say $10. That's going to be my monthly budget. And then you give it an email address, neilmcgee@virginia.edu. You can add multiple people. And then just as a nice reminder, what's the scope of this budget? All AWS services are in this scope. So again, I could set up a different scope for just EC2 or just S3 and so on. And then it tells me I'll be notified when my actual spending reaches 85% of this $10, when my actual spend reaches 100%, or if my forecasted spend is expected to reach 100% or more. So that's a nice reminder. That's when I'm going to get some alerts. And I actually get more than that when I've exceeded it. So let's create that budget. And you can see right now it's in an OK threshold. It's just being created. And it's listed here. And I could have a number of budgets all going at the same time, sending out to different people for different dimensions or different projects and so on. And now if I refresh this page, we'll actually see, look, I've exceeded my threshold. I have a budget of $10. I've used $11.38. My forecasted spend is $15.56. So current versus budgeted is 113%. So yeah, I'm over it. And I can see in my other monitor, I'm already getting some emails. I already have 3 emails to that effect for each of these 3 thresholds that I've exceeded. So that's good to know. My budget's already working. So go ahead and set up yours. You can always come back in here and adjust the dollar amount if you need to, up or down. It's a completely reusable object. Thanks. Good luck.